Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja, and right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Hey, I hope there's not delay because your voice, your face is not going with your voice right now on Discord.
Oh shit. Well, at least
you're
the audio.
fine now. Oh, you're good.
Okay.
It's only for a second.
At least the audio portion of our show is always, fairly decent. But with all that said, Francis, with all that said, I did some research over the past week, and we all know we all know we have this internet issue. I have this internet issue where it can't keep up.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of traffic being used, and it just can't keep up. So, doing some research, I looked into something and I think I found the solution. And it's nerdy. It's nerdy, Francis, but it will help in the slight delay that even you and I experience every time we do this when the thing hits record, and somehow there's a magical delay that was never there before. It's a MOC card, MOCA card. Apparently, what these cards do, this is nerdy as shit. What these cards do, Francis, is connects to your...
Yes.
Oh, so you know how you got Wi-Fi extenders that you just plug into the wall? They're powered or whatever. When they extend they somehow extend your Wi-Fi through walls to just kind of amplify them. Well, this is kind of the same thing, but instead of extending your Wi-Fi, it uses the coax cable that's already in your house. So the cable that we all used to use to watch TV with, you plug, it goes from so most of us get our internet through a coax cable through the wall into a modem. Well, this comes with a splitter.
Yes.
You put one end of the splitter into your modem router thing. You take the other side into the this MOCA card. You connect an Ethernet between the two, and then the other end goes into the cable outlet, which is right damn near your house or your location there. So then here, where I am in the domicile, I can just get a coax cable and a little whatever the other end of the MOCA card plugs into that, and then an Ethernet plugs into that into the computer. And then I have technically
very nerdy
a wired connection, even though it's not technically wired. So hopefully that will help this whole scenario out, and
that'd be nice.
It's going to be a slight investment on my end.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal. I mean, I say that like fucking I have disposable money. I don't, but it's in the lists of different things that you could purchase either on Amazon or out there in the world. It's not. It's definitely on the cheaper end of things that are in my list of things that I'd like to have.
Your wish list of stuff.
Yes.
Wish list of things.
But I'm hoping I'm going to give that a shot, and hoping that will definitely fix this whole issue that we've been having with dropping thousands of frames per episode and dropping out and people losing connection and the software crashing on my end. And yeah, it's been a mess. It's been a mess, but hopefully things will get better. How are you, my friend? How are things? What's going on with you?
Things are going. Hello, listeners mate. Look at that. Ginger Delicious Mate hanging out with us tonight. Things are going all right. Life continues to get weird.
As things do.
Like in general. But yeah, like, hey, take care of yourselves, people. Take care of your kidneys. Is my big PSA today because, yeah, I do the amount of time it takes me to set myself up to do dialysis every night. Like, man, it's stressful
Well, I
because
can
you got to get it
imagine.
right.
Well,
Otherwise, you
yeah.
get sick.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like you get a kink in the hose, man. That's kind of your ass.
yeah, and they give you paperwork that you can send to travel. It's like, this is a life-giving device. This gives life, and I'm like, oh boy, this is a big deal, right? So like, so it's apparently a very big deal. So yeah, so now that I've started it, it's just been, I've just been, it's only been a day, but I'm like already just so done, so over it. Like, man, it's been a day, and I have to do this for years, and I'm already over it. I'm like, all right, I guess. So if anyone's out there, I plead again. If anyone's out there with a kidney, just give it to me, please. This sucks. But anyway. How about you, man? How are you doing?
Uh,
I hope your life is way more positive than that.
well, I'm not hooked up to any machines, at least not yet.
No, not
After
yet.
this
We're not
weekend,
cyborg.
Francis, after this weekend, I might need one because my anxiety levels are already through the roof. Actually, um,
Oh, where are those people?
we've teased about it the last couple episodes here
Yeah.
about my interactions with FanExpo and them contacting me asking if I'm interested in hosting a panel. And you sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger when you said life.
Did I say
Life.
mm,
We finished the show last week with, I don't really know what I'm exactly doing. There might be this, there might be that. Well, last Wednesday, so the day after we record this show, I was contacted again and said, here's a list of all the things you can do. And I looked at this list, Francis, and all the different names that are on this list, and I know because, we've been doing this Comic-Con thing now for 10 years. I know that
mm.
the names on here are big-time names. I've seen their banners at Comic-Cons. But I don't know a single name that was on this list. So I just went, well, I'm just going to pick at random something, and hopefully it'll be, something I can do. And I chose a sketch duel, which I've never even been to, like at any other show. So I don't even, I'm guessing it's, well, because of, I've gotten a little bit of information. It's two artists, and they sketch the same thing in their own art styles with their own flair or whatnot.
Yeah.
I believe it's a timed event. I think I'm the color commentator. I'm not 100% sure. It was just funny interaction I had with FanExpo where they were like, shocked you don't know who these people are. I'm like, I don't read comic books. Just being honest. Maybe somebody with more, knowledge would be better in some of these positions. And I contacted our friend Jay from the Elegant Weapon, who has also worked with FanExpo, and I'm like, hey man, I don't know what to do here. And he's like, well, stop freaking out, first of all, and you can do this. Just do some research. So I I'm back and forth with FanExpo. I can now say that I am hosting 2 sketch duels at FanExpo Denver this coming weekend on the Sunday, whatever that day is. I don't know exactly what the times are for these things. I will figure it out, and once I figure that out, it will be all over my social medias. But if you are going to be at FanExpo Denver this coming weekend, stick around for Sunday. Come watch me host 2 sketch duels and make a complete fool out of myself in front of comic book artists. It'll be a lot of fun. I don't know which one's first, but Mike Kunkel and John Delaney, well, versus John Delaney.
Yes.
And then the other one is going to be,
yes. Don't forget the versus.
yeah, versus. And then the other one's going to be Tony Harris versus Jai Lee. And of the entire list of people that were on that thing, Jai Lee is the only one that I was, and when I say familiar, I've seen his banner, I've seen the name a whole lot, and I always wondered, how do you say that dude's name? But, you know, Francis and I spent a half hour trying to figure it out, and we agreed upon Jai. So I hope that's what it is.
Like Guy, but with a J.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I've never hosted a sketch duel. I have, Francis. You and I have both have moderated and or hosted whatever the hell you want to say, or been a part of a panel at Comic-Cons. Some of us have name placards already. I don't. But I might this weekend. But it's going to be a feather in the hat, because this convention, outside of them and in its numerous iterations of name changes and ownership and who's running it and who's running the press, never was I involved. Never was I given a chance to be involved. They did contact us that in 2015 to be part of their podcast street, or podcast peak is what they called it. You know, and gave us a table for free, which was
podcast peak. Yeah.
That was amazing. It was a great experience. But never gotten a chance to do any moderating or a chance to shine or any kind. When I'm like, and we're getting, you know, we can go to California. I can go out to California to have press out there, no problem. You know, yes, it's through you, but you know, no problem. You know, go out to Philadelphia and it's open arms, do whatever the hell you want. Granted, it was kind of our show, dink dink, but it's kind of, it feels cool to finally get like a chance to shine. And it's that kind of, it's that kind of anxiety, that kind of nervousness that fucking makes me perform. So I talk a big game about how fucking nervous I am, but really all it does is fuel me to like want to do as best as possible. That's a long delay if you're just sitting there looking at me.
I wasn't sure if you were going to say more.
No. Okay. No, that's it.
It sounded like you were continuing to kind of explain your situation. Yeah, no, it's really cool that you're getting a chance to do this. Yeah, we've had a lot of experience, but man, look, come on. At some point, your home convention, which is Denver, was going to kind of, as they say, give you a seat at the table at some point or another, because you know you've been covering them for almost a decade now.
Yeah, I mean every single year of the show. Granted, the very first year of the show, they never told us that we were press. They thanked us for being press, but I never got a confirmation email.
Right.
But I mean, they contacted us before the show was even ever a show. Like, what would be your interest in coming to a Denver Comic-Con? Like, what the fuck? Hell yeah. Sign us up.
Make sure you wear pants.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because, I got a contract about, basically it's the same kind of contract that you would get anywhere else if you're doing something. Don't be an asshole. I mean, that's basically how to sum it up. Don't be an asshole and don't dress like a piece of shit. Because you're representing the
good basic rules.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can't see them because the blur and everything, but I got a pair of pants over here. I got to break in over the next couple days because the ones that I'm wearing are disgustingly filthy, and once a pair of pants get too dirty, there's no point in ever washing them because they're just going to fall apart at that point.
No,
the grime is what keeps them together.
Oh man, there was a convention I think that you were doing, or that I want to say it was recent, where I was really excited because your favorite interview, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, was like a guest. Oh, which one was it? Because I'm like, oh, she's a guest at this convention. Oh man, I really hope Josh gets to like interview her all over again.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was. I don't recall.
I don't remember. It wasn't FanExpo though, apparently, because I'm looking at it now and she's not on the list. But there was a convention that I think you were going to be a part of, or I was really excited that you could technically get to see see her again. But yes, anyway, yes, that's just me. The golden rule definitely applies. You know, you want to treat others the way you want to be treated. So that's
Well,
that's
for
very
sure.
true.
For sure.
And Ginger, don't worry about drinking a beer. That only affects your liver, and livers grow back. So that's okay. Well, I guess it does affect your kidneys a little bit, but it's only your liver, so that's all good. No worries.
Well, still though. Fuck, how do you transition out of that?
Oh.
But yeah, so if you're around on Sunday,
Speaking of talking to people,
speaking of things that hurt me when I hear them, how about that?
oh, there you go.
I saw today that from all accounts seems to be true that Ryan Seacrest has been chosen as the new host of Wheel of Fortune.
Wait, what? You're joking? No way.
Dude, all I'm saying is I report what I see, man. I didn't look at like 9 different articles to make sure the shit was real. I just saw something. I was like, oh shit, and it looked like a real article. So I was like, okay, well,
yeah. And BBC is reporting.
Okay, well, there you go.
Today.
So, I mean, I get, sure, that's the news, but really the news is, how the fuck does this guy ever sleep? All he does is work.
Well, he's not doing that morning show anymore. Kelly and Ryan, or whatever, right? Like, which was so weird because that show used to be Regis Philbin and Kathy Lee Gifford.
Yeah,
Right, that was the two. Right, that was the original guys who did this morning show, and then some random soap opera girl gets the second seat and then became the host, and then Ryan Seacrest at some point became the host for a little while. I don't know. He's kind of got the personality of a wooden brick. Like, and I mean wooden brick in the sense of like it doesn't make sense, right? Because bricks aren't made of wood. Kelly Ripa, yeah, Kelly Ripa was the other host for many years, and still is the host now, I guess, with her husband. But yeah, he's like the most kind of generic. You know what the most generic? We're the most generic podcast on the internet. He's the most generic dude like in the world. Like that dude has no personality.
Right.
He has a morning show out here in LA. I don't know if he still does, but
Right.
he had a morning show in LA for many years, and it was dull. Like there's nothing to it.
Well, people could say the same thing about this show, but
Well, no, it has two of the most handsomest, sexiest voiced hosts ever. It just happens to be generic. Right.
Right.
Wow. Ryan Seacrest doesn't even have the voice. He has like a very generic voice. He has a very plain, like, whatever voice. He's not that. I don't know. I mean, good for him, I guess. But
yeah, as if he needs the money. As if he needs more jobs.
no, he's like almost a billionaire. I'm pretty sure he's like 2 shows away from being a billionaire. Like this dude is everywhere. God,
he needs a guest spot, hosting a game show.
He was the guy who originated the term metrosexual, if you remember that term.
I do remember that.
Where you dress well despite being straight, I guess, which is whatever. But 2024, next year, he's going to be the host. That's really unfortunate.
There's a lot of people out there, even a couple years ago, that were saying like, just give it to Vanna, and I'm like, I've seen when Vanna hosts the Wheel of Fortune. It's not very good.
No, Vanna. I mean, it sucks because her job is really nothing, right? She's window dressing, even though she's not necessarily window dressing anymore. But,
at least back in the day, she got to spin the fucking letter. Now it's a touch screen, just touches it.
She did. Yeah. She did Playboy. Yeah. So good for her.
For the articles.
For the articles. For the articles, yeah. Man. No, but here's the thing, right? Like, can I just say, I'm a little surprised Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy still exist as shows. Because it feels antiquated to me. Like, it feels like, just feels so old. No offense to everyone who's grown up with it, but it just feels old.
I mean, would it be better if it was tic-tac-toe and pressure luck?
No. Apparently there's this
I couldn't
show,
fucking reach any further back into my TV game show history right there. Like Oddball.
You could have done $10,000 Pyramid, or
But that's not Oddball. Like, there's a show about tic-tac-toe.
That's Oddball.
There was a fucking game show on TV about tic-tac-toe.
Called Hollywood Squares.
That show was badass, though. He had Stone Phillips.
No, that's true.
Stone Phillips was he was a mainstay, man. He was always there. He was the fucking PA announcer guy. He had to be the one of the squares. And me, I'm Stone Phillips in the center square, or whatever he would say. No, the center square went to the main celebrity guest, right?
Right. Like, for years in the early 2000s or in late 90s, it was Whoopi Goldberg was the center square for many, many years.
Yeah, that show was awesome.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody today about pressure luck, about, no whammy.
No whammy, yeah, no whammy.
Big money.
They had
no whammy, stop.
I think didn't Wayne Brady bring back pressure luck, I want to say?
Was that pressure luck? Pressure luck, was that the one with fucking the doors? What's behind door number 1, 2, or 3? Wasn't that pressure luck? That was pressure luck, right?
Remember.
What's the one with the fucking whammy?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Whammy. Pressure luck, whammy. Yeah.
Okay.
Pressure luck.
What the fuck was the show that Wayne Brady was hosting then? Were they all dressed up in stupid? Oh, Let's Make a Deal. Thanks, listeners, mate.
Oh, Let's Make a Deal. Thanks, listeners, mate. Yeah.
We got
a new version of pressure luck.
I think I've seen it.
In 2002. Oh.
Yeah, you remember when all the game shows got like the rehash? They started doing them at night in the summers. I think that's when they brought back pressure luck.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Good on Ryan Seacrest. He needs to retire.
Okay, then.
Give it to somebody else, because I'm sure someone else could use the work. Give it to the lead singer of oh god, never mind. I can't think of it. He was like a host for a little while. He was the lead singer of oh god, they sing that song every morning. They sing the song.
Dude, wrong fucking person.
I know it was a 90s group. Every morning song. I'll tell you right now, because this guy was was a weird kind of Sugar Ray, the lead singer of Sugar Ray. was like
fucking it's on the tip of my tongue. He's in Sharknado.
No way, was he really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's great.
Oh, all right.
He shows up and I'm like, holy shit, it's Sugar Ray.
Well, yeah, the lead singer of Sugar Ray was like a host of a bunch. It's Mark McGrath.
Mark McGrath. That's it. I was just about to look it up.
He was the host of a bunch of things. He was probably looking for work. Give it to him, or give it to the guy who did the lead singer of Smash Mouth. Give it to him. Give it to these guys who aren't working right now because their music careers went down the toilet. Give it to Mario Lopez because he still needs work.
He doesn't know that he doesn't need anything else to do.
No.
Bring back Mr. T.
How old is Mr. T?
70 something.
He's got to be. Yeah, he's got to be. He's too old. He's too old. He can't do it. That's And I get it. Pat wanted to leave before, he got too. He didn't want to pull a Price is Right and be there till he was 90.
Hmm.
He didn't want to be a Bob Eubanks and just be like, I'm going to be
Who?
here till I die. It's not Bob Eubanks. That's the other guy. It's Bob Barker. Bob Barker. Bob Eubanks is the dating game guy. Where's the craziest place you made whoopee? And the lady said, in the butt, Bob.
We'll be back in 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
No, that was Chuck
man.
Woolery.
Oh,
Wasn't
who
it?
am I thinking of?
I don't know who the fuck you're thinking of.
Bob Eubanks
I
is the
thought
thing.
Chuck Woolery was the fucking dating game guy.
Oh, is he the dating? Bob Eubanks is a real person. Like he's. I did not make him up.
I believe it, but what the fuck is this?
Oh, Bob Eubanks is a disc jockey. Whatever.
Oh. I don't need to sign.
Oh yeah. He hosted the Newlywed Game. Yeah, hosting
Oh,
the
okay.
Newlywed.
Newlywed. Okay,
cool.
that's
I'm not insane. Oh, thank God, I'm not insane.
okay.
Okay. Oh, all right. All right. There you go.
That was a real answer, wasn't it?
Besides, Ryan Seacrest is also still doing the what is it, New Year's Rockin' Eve, isn't he?
Oh yeah, Dick Clark's Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, hosted by Ryan Seacrest, supplemented by these 15 people
That you've never heard of.
or cared.
That are all reality show stars. Yeah.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, it's it's 10 o'clock here in Denver, and they should be going to the ball drop. Nope, we're gonna show you the local news. Like, but I want to go to bed.
It's not midnight. It's not New Year's for you. Wait 2 more hours.
Right.
You still have time. Yeah.
Hey, you know what you still have time for?
What do we have time for?
To get tickets to FanExpo Denver this weekend. See me make a fool out of myself on Sunday.
Oh, jeez. There you go. Not yet sold out. Go for
I
it.
just
Sold
gotta
out.
I gotta practice, how to slip in, the advertisement for this.
Got to get your plugs in.
Exactly.
Make sure you get your plugs in.
Is that too grim? Fuck it. There was a thing this weekend that happened that definitely needed a plug. Remember we all talked about that Titan Submersible thing? We all last week waited in anticipation to see what might happen in the 90 hours that they had left of air or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I mean, loss of life sucks. Period. We talked about that last week as well. I said I was about to make all kinds of fun of it until I discovered that it was an actual thing that was happening.
Yeah.
James Cameron, very vocal about his thoughts and feelings on the whole thing. Very scathing review he gave.
I guess it's a review. Yeah. I think you could call it a review, sure.
Scathing. And then more and more things are coming out about how many people told this guy that this was a bad idea. And there's an interview where he gave where he's like, safety is for suckers. Basically, I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, safety gets in the way of innovation or something to that effect.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people got invested in this whole thing. How many people are still very interested in implosions all of a sudden. Everybody that I talked to this week said when they open up their YouTube, that's like most of their recommended things are about implosions.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad that didn't show up on my YouTube. Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe it's because we were all talking about it at work or something. I don't know, but there's a lot of people got a lot of info this week about how it all works, and Let me just look over everything and make sure. Oh yeah, so it's just for me. I don't understand the point of going to look at a ship that sunk over 100 years ago. That for the better part of 1,500 people died on, and now there's 5 more we can add to it. Now, you can't add to the loss of the Titanic, but you can add to the loss of going to look at the I just don't. Here's where I'm an asshole. What's the fucking fascination about a fucking boat that sank over 100 goddamn years ago? I don't get it. A hole. It's a hole in the boat. Guess what happens when there's a hole in the boat? It fucking sinks.
Yeah, but it's kind of it's a living legend, right? Like it's a legend that you can actually still potentially see, right? Like it's a thing that exists that is a moment in time, which we as people are really fascinated with. Like we really like. I mean, that's why museums exist, and that's why that kind of stuff exists, because we like to preserve those types of things.
But
now, I understand the Titanic but the Titanic. I think if it didn't bill itself as an unsinkable ship, which was like its big selling point, was like, hey, you can't sink the Titanic, so ha 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 ha. And then on its maiden voyage, it sinks. That's a big deal. That's like worth talking about because it's like, oh, yeah, look at the hubris of man.
100 fucking years ago, it was.
But right,
it's not
right. Yeah.
And, okay, I'm being cynical. Right, but I'm taking a position on it, I guess. Right, but like, ships sink every goddamn day. Nobody gives a fuck about any of those. Right? You could if you want to go safely. If you want to go safely, look at boats that have sank. Go to the fucking World War II museum with all the Pearl Harbor boats. You could safely look at all of those.
To the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what, Francis? Guess what? If you have to take your own air or atmosphere with you, you don't fucking belong there.
Right. Look, I get it. I get it, sort of. Right. Like I get where you're coming from, but I also understand why people want to like keep going and discovering and like not even discovering, but going back to a thing that fascinates them, right? James Cameron, even though he got mad and everything, he went down there like a dozen times. Like he went there again and again.
Several times. 30 times he went. 30 times.
Yeah. Like it's like you've been there once. How many times? Like it's this. Nothing changes. So why do you have to go 30 times? Not like anything moves. It's the same thing for every time you go. It's always the same thing. But it's fascinating for a lot of people. I mean, hell. He made one of the biggest grossing movies of all time, thanks to his love of this weird ship that nobody like should potentially care about.
In 1995, when my girlfriend was dragging me to that movie, and I was going, "Why are we going to this? We already know what happened. It happened 90 years ago or 80 years, whatever whatever the time frame was at that time." I mean,
1912. Yeah.
Well, 1912, and when the movie come out? 95, right?
Something like that.
95, 96. I just don't understand it myself. If it was closer to the surface,
I don't know either.
If it was closer, and you didn't need a pressure vessel in which to go see it,
right?
That you can do it in maybe a touristy fucking rover thing that they got like at Disneyland and shit. I know those are on a track, but you know what I'm saying, like
I know what you mean.
Or like a glass bottom boat, and you can look through the glass bottom of the boat and look at it and be like, oh yep, there's the Titanic right there. Maybe I'd have a different outlook on it, but when it's 2 miles, 2 miles underwater, leave it the fuck alone. And like you said, it has the only thing that's changed is that there's more shit that's growing on it, more stuff that has disintegrated because it's over 100 years ago, And it's not like anybody's just going to walk out of it and be like, shit, finally made it through that fucking door. You know? Like, just let it go. It happened.
Again,
we have a whole fucking movie. We have satires of the movie. We have an amazing digital scan of it. What the fuck else do people need to know about it?
It's so funny. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I think of it in the opposite direction, right? Like, because the same philosophies of being underwater is the same philosophy of being in space, right? Because being in space, you need to bring your own oxygen, you need to bring your own thing. There's really nothing out there that we know of, right? Yet we keep going out there. We have a space station up there, right?
What Ginger's saying about speaking respectful, I'm not speaking badly about the people that died on it. I just don't understand the fascination of today, 100 years later, why anybody wants to go and look at it or have anything to do with it. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, we know everything there is to know about it because of the people that have been doing it for the past 30 years, 40 years, whatever. It was rediscovered in 85 or 86. So I just, like, over the past, whatever that time is, we found out everything. We know everybody that's been on the boat, everybody that lived, everybody that perished, all the jewels that were left, all the Leonardos that couldn't stay on the fucking door. You know, we found out about all them people. And then made a movie.
Yeah, but that was
those people.
Was other people.
I know, but I'm just
right. But
we know everything there is to know about it. Why?
Yeah.
Why do we have to go and look at it? It's a boat that split in half and sank over 100 years ago. What about the boat that split in half and is under 10 feet of water at your local bay? You know, go look at that.
It's I think it's just the same reason why we dig up bones and we we just do stuff because it's just people are, especially people with a lot of money. And look, that they did have a lot of money and they wanted to do something that they've never done before, right?
No, they did.
When you've done everything,
they did, Francis.
Well, yeah, that too. But when you've done everything, right? When you have unlimited wealth and you've done everything, you have to find ways to do other stuff. I mean, that's why Mr. Beast, famous YouTuber and guy who likes to do
philanthropist. Would you call him a philanthropist? Or is he just with a cock with a lot of money? I don't know, because I don't know anything about the guy.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Okay.
But he was supposed to go.
Like a Richard Branson.
Sort of. He's like young though. He's like younger than us, and he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he likes to give away money. But he was supposed to go on this thing because he's a billionaire and he has a lot of money and he has, he's done everything, right? Like he's done good things. He's given to charities. He's done all that stuff. Blah 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 blah. Sure. And one thing he had the opportunity to do is do that. But yeah, I mean, I get where Ginger's coming from too. It's like, why do people do anything, right? Like, if you've been to one convention, you've kind of been to all of them, right?
Sure,
you want to keep going.
You can totally make that argument. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
but I don't have to build a pressure vessel to go to a convention and have it.
I do get where, and I do get that where like the amount of work required to go to a convention is much less than that to see the Titanic.
I just for me personally, but more recent history is a lot more fascinating to me than something that, I mean, it's tragic what happened. I'm not taking anything away from that. It just we're not gonna. There's nothing new is going to be discovered about this thing. We know everything there is to know. So
they didn't go down there to discover anything new. They went down there to discover what's already been discovered. Again, it's to experience it yourself, right? That's kind of why people do it. They like to experience the thing for themselves.
I mean, I've jumped out of a perfectly good firsthand. I've jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. You know, with the risks, you know, were just as high. And when I jumped out of a perfectly good airplane and my parachute didn't open properly, I shit myself a little bit and fixed it and, you know, still hit the ground really hard 3 minutes later or whatever it was. Because I don't know how to fucking parachute by myself. But,
Right.
like you said, I didn't have to take air with me or my own atmosphere.
Right. Well, okay. Again, it's just you know,
My
just
level
do
of
those
excitement,
things.
my level of excitement ends when you have to take air or atmosphere with you. That's why I'm not scuba
You'll
certified.
never go to space.
I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid, but when I discovered that when you could be in a space shuttle and it explodes and you die, I didn't want to be an astronaut anymore. You know? I don't know.
Oh, and that's true, Ginger. You're right, because I think that's the other reason why people want to see it is because yes, it may change, but at some point the ocean will take the remnants, the skeletal remains of the Titanic, and there won't be much of it left for you to see. So you want to be able to go down. Again, that's probably the motivation is you want to go down there to see it while you can before coral and, you know, just vegetation take over every inch of it and it just becomes part of the landscape. And then you're not going to be able to see anything. And it's disintegrating because it's steel, right? So it's the ocean water is disintegrating it with everything going on. So yeah, there's that aspect as well. But again, I get where you're coming from.
Right.
Your level of risk is only X amount, while other people's level of risk is unfortunately or fortunately, again, thank God for those people. We wouldn't have skyscrapers if we didn't have people who were willing to, back in like the 30s and 40s when you had no safety equipment, just climb on girders and stuff with nothing under them, with no safety harness,
and I take my hat off and stand up and clap for all of those people. I'm just not willing to take those kind of risks.
Yeah,
myself. You know, my level of excitement is signing up for moderating things that I'm not qualified to fucking moderate. That's my level of excitement. You know, doing 50 in a 45. You know, no, I'm joking. I like to drive fast, but you know, like, I don't know. It just doesn't.
I get you.
It just when you have to spend years developing something to go look at something for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. And you know what? There's a reason why submarines don't have fucking windows, too.
They only had one window. It had one window.
Submarines? One, it wasn't a submarine. Two, submarines don't have windows.
No, they have periscopes.
Right, and that the periscopes look
sonar
on top of the water.
Yeah.
Right, periscopes aren't used to look through water.
And some,
but you don't hear about all those
go that deep either.
You know, well, that exactly. There's a reason why. Yeah. You know, it was explained to me in a really cool way. Picture a elephant standing on one leg, standing on your chest. And then 26 other elephants are on top of that one elephant. But that pressure you feel on your chest, you feel all over your body, all at the same time. Yeah, no thanks.
Oh, that's the pressure of the
pressure of the ocean.
Depth of ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easier. Yeah. It's weird that it's easier to go and explore space than it is to explore the ocean. That's right outside your door.
I wouldn't say it's easier because we definitely haven't attempted to go into space as often as we've gone under the water.
But what I'm saying, like the pressures involved are far greater in water than they are in space.
Right. I understand what you mean. Yeah.
It's different.
The results are still the same.
It's different physics. I understand, but
yeah.
That's why we only have explored whatever 5% of the ocean because people attempt to build things that don't work. There's a reason why you're not supposed to be there.
Right. I mean, sure.
You don't see those fools that do free diving. You don't see them doing it in the Mariana Trench. No, you already see them doing it in a controlled area in a gigantic cylinder swimming pool.
Right. Well, look. They're
like, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna free dive to whatever, double-digit meters on one breath. But at least it's in a. Yeah, people do that, right? But they don't do it in the ocean. They do it in a controlled area with people watching over them.
Right. Yeah.
Able to provide them breath if they need it.
Smart or not, dumb or not, it's I'm thankful for people to take the risks because that's how we discover.
Well, sure.
That's
sure.
That's how we expand.
And yes, there is. I mean, you're gonna break some eggs to make an omelet. That's morbid as fuck. But
well, yeah.
I just for me, no.
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to go spend all their money and possibly get squished, then that's cool. But if I'm gonna go have that possibility, it's gonna be to discover something that hasn't been discovered yet. Not something that we already know every inch and every single detail about.
I get that. I get that argument. Yeah, right. Because it's not like we're mapping new parts of the ocean. It's a place we've been to before. So I get it. Again, people are trying to. Yeah, but either way,
I mean,
at least there is a conclusion to that whole story that we were kind of like alluding to last week. We finally know what happened. It's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate result.
It is an unfortunate
I'm kind of glad
result.
that people stopped talking about it. Yeah, I'm kind of glad people stopped talking about it because, man, were people just like...
It's crazy how it consumed everything.
Well, not just that, but just the joy people had of like people dying, and it's like I get it. I mean, it's weird. It kind of makes me grossed out.
I saw something.
People get all excited for.
Well, I saw something that touching on that, and I'm gonna destroy it here as I try to explain it. But people feeling how they felt. Some people being very vocal about the joy or whatever that they felt about those people dying. Something about, the people, quote unquote, dink dink, the people are fed up with the rich. And, if they want to go do something stupid and, whatever happens to them, it's like, well, they're whatever, why should I feel bad for that person? They went and did something completely stupid. And I'm butchering basically what was said was a lot more eloquent and educated than how I just said it. But again, I see it. I mean, like you said, you want to go spend your money on doing something completely stupid like that, like jumping out of an airplane, right? I could have jumped out of the airplane that looked up and that parachute just been a big ball, and I could have been falling to the ground, but.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't.
No, good. Fortunately, it's good
I could end this call and go turn off the lights and shock myself. Stupid, or worse. I could go check the mail and get hit by the mail truck. Anything can happen.
Right.
But you just gotta where's the limit of your risk? And as I've explained, the risk of my limit, or the limit of my risk, is taking air or atmosphere with you. There's my limit.
Right.
If you got to do either one of those things, I'm not here for it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to go snorkeling. Because that's even worse. Then the only air you got is what you breathe in. Then you got a tube full of water just waiting to go into your lungs. No thanks. Water freaks me out anyway.
I don't think anyone's... Yeah, luckily no one's putting you in that scenarios, at least, so that's good.
I mean, I pitch a fit in that fucking stupid submarine at Disneyland that I know is on a track and is not even underwater. But I pitch a fit in that thing.
I mean, it's underwater.
Well, yeah, but it's not pressurized or anything like that.
Oh, no. Nice, no. You're like in a swimming pool, essentially. Like, you're not going 9 feet under the water, if that.
It's water's just not my thing. So maybe there's part of my irrational thought process on this whole thing, or whatever. My jaded look on the whole thing is water freaks me out, and there's no reason to be there.
I don't know. I can't argue that. That's true. There's not a lot of reasons to be in the water. You don't have to be.
No, not even. No. I'm not even a swimming pool person, really.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. How do you go from that into something fun? I don't know. Yeah. So, did you go out and do any Pride celebration this weekend?
No, I don't go out at all, given my condition.
Okay. That was a dumb question,
hopefully
Josh.
that'll change soon when I feel comfortable making my way outside. But yeah, not at the moment. I'm not going out anywhere now.
Well,
but I know a lot of people did. I know it was very popular to go out over the last few weekends to events like that. Yeah.
Well, Denver's Pride Fest was this past weekend as we record things, and my girlfriend and I we went down there and checked it out. And
whoa! Wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the first time you said that.
It's a new thing between us, so
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's good to hear.
Hot ass girlfriend, I think, is the reference that was made. And I was like,
sure, yeah.
I can't argue that. So yes. But okay, so we go down there and we're checking things out, and kayfabe, Josh. Recent events in my life, and just being down there and looking the way that I look. I looked at the lady and I said, "Hey, you know how, I look like the enemy. I don't look like I whatever."
I don't know if there's a template for that, but
but I'm just saying, I was just teasing. I was like, I want to make sure everybody knows that I'm an ally. Damn it, I'm here.
Okay.
But I want to showcase it. I want to let everybody know. And as I say that, I look down at this booth, and it's enamel pins of all the different flags that are available. And I'm looking through all of them, and I get down to the bottom. I go, look at that, straight ally. I was like, that's me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I grab this pen and I proudly display it on my chest as we're walking around and looking at things. Well, we pass this booth, and she is drawn to the booth because she sees like bikinis, like string type bikinis, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, let's definitely go check that out. We walk in there, and I'm looking at things, and I'm like, those bottoms of the bikinis those are not for ladies. These are bikinis for like dudes. This is a shop for me, and I'm being all loud, obnoxious about it. And I'm looking looking at everything they had, and they had all kinds of things. Francis, use your imagination. And one of the patrons
I can imagine. Yeah.
One of the patrons of the booth walks up and says, "What are you guys looking for? You look like you need a thong, sir." And I was like, "Well, if find one that fits, I guess. The right color. I'd be game. Sure, whatever." "Well, what size are you?" I went, "I don't know. I've been wearing size 36 pants since I was, 18. this guy walks behind me, grabs my hips, and goes, 34. I was just like, okay. Not what I expected, but I'm game. See, I got the pen.
All right. Right.
It was it was a good time. I had a blast. It was fun as hell.
Wait,
and really,
did you get him?
No. Nothing spoke to me. Plus, as some of you out there on the social medias that follow me may have seen recently, that I posted about this and said, I have no ass. I'm Irish. I have no ass. And besides, pretty sure she doesn't want to look at my ass in a thong, and I don't even want to look at my ass on a thong, so I passed.
Right. It is not for everyone, that's true.
But it was just really funny to have somebody just walk up behind me, grab me by my hips, and like, yep, he's a 34. Like,
I mean, some people are that experienced that they know just by touch.
Well, it was fun.
Size of man's waist.
When I did say, I don't even know if I want to see me in a thong. Somebody walking by was like, I wouldn't mind.
No, they. Oh yeah.
So it's funny because aside from a lot of celebrations, a free EDM concert happening, food, everybody having a great time. Mm-hmm. It was like a farmer's market. It was just like booths of stuff and trinkets and handmade jewelry, and it was a lot of fun.
Right. Oh, there you go. Well, good.
Yeah, we the public transport. Go ahead.
As long as you're. No, go on. Public transportation. What?
We discovered the public transportation here. I mean, I guess it's decent. I'm not a public transportation aficionado. I don't go to other cities and let's jump on their local train. But we have pretty good service here, I think. And we drove to a light rail station a little closer to downtown.
Okay.
And we both said to ourselves, the first train that shows up, we'll just jump on it because they're all going downtown. So we'll just jump on one and we'll be fine. We both forgot that there's two different lines that go downtown. One that goes way out of the way and one goes right to where you want to be. Well, guess what train showed up first? The one that goes way out of the way.
Way out of the way.
So we went like one stop, and I looked at where we were, and I'm like, get off the train now. We got to get off at this stop, otherwise we're gonna have like a 30-minute walk. So
you were there all day.
No, we were there for a couple hours. The tail end of the celebration, if you will. But like I said, it was a lot of fun. It was fun being down there. I get to play photographer. Well, she gets to be my model and everything, so I get to snap pictures off, and somebody photo bombed her. So that was a lot of fun. And he stuck around after the photo bomb. He just kind of stuck where he was. Gave her the phone back. She's looking through all the pictures, and she just sees this guy. She's like, what the hell? I got photo bombed. And looked up, and the guy's just sitting there with a big shit-eating grin on his face.
Well, look, probably his MO.
Right.
For people who are there, photobomb as many people as he can. But
which I'm going to do that this weekend.
Sounds like it had a good. Sure. Yeah, as you should.
What I think I want to do, Francis, I want to photobomb by photoing the photo.
What if you can somehow get your placard early? Just photobomb everywhere with your name. Everywhere.
No.
Even if it's not your face, just have the placard just show up in people's pictures.
No, what I do. Okay, so we've talked about physical watermarks in photos. We mostly have seen these things at anime shows specifically. But don't be an asshole. There's a group here in Denver that makes people hold a stuffed thing.
Oh, sure.
and that is their physical watermark. So what I should do is go get my name placard early, and then when I go take pictures of cosplay or whoever, just be like, here, hold this. And that'll be my physical watermark for the whole weekend. Just my name.
Have the pot banner.
Oh, right. Just,
your name. Yeah.
I actually have it. It's in the closet right here.
Just bring that. Just be like.
Yeah, I need
because people are going to misread it anyway.
Right. Like I need 8 of you to stand in a row and stretch this out.
Oh, that's true. It is big.
Yeah,
it's a banner. It's a
6 foot.
It's a backdrop. Yeah.
The backdrop was like 4x3, I think. So that one could be held by like 2 people probably.
Oh, that was the front of the table.
The table banner was 6 foot by whatever 4 foot.
Jeez.
The one-time table banner because I was an idiot and put the date on it.
That's right. You put 2015 or something.
2015 I put on there.
Like the year.
Yeah, but if we ever got a chance to use it again, I would just print something and put over it, make it so you could see that it said 2015 on it, and just have the new date plastered on top of it.
Covered with a Post-it note.
Yeah, just a whole bunch
big
of them.
number 2 or something. Yeah.
Just a clearly different fonted vinyl like sticker on top of it, like different color and everything.
That overlaps kind of the other numbers a little bit.
Yeah.
So it really looks awkward. It's fine.
I mean, that would be our style.
Yeah.
That would totally be our style.
You were proud of the banner. Like, you were very happy you had the banner.
I was very excited and elated and happy and everything else because it wasn't something that I went and tried to get. I didn't even send them an email like, what do we got to do to get a table? It was just like in 2012 when they contacted me out of nowhere. Would you be interested in talking about a Comic-Con or coming or covering? This was the same thing, just I lost my train of thought.
I'm assuming it had something to do with the banner.
But, it was a moment, and I was like, they called us to be a part of the show, so let's commemorate it by putting the date on here, because who knows if we'll ever get a chance to be a table.
And you were right.
So, at least when I get older and I start to lose my mind.
It was a good call because you're going to be right.
I start to lose my shit. I can, go down to the basement and see the banner that's, permanently attached to the wall. Be like, oh, yeah, 2015.
Have a table set up.
Have a table
set up just like it was in 2015 in Denver. Just have a table with candy and
fucking cardboard cutouts of Francis and Jason.
Yeah.
At the table so I could sit down with my friends.
And then when Human Echoes was a thing. Have that there.
Miss that guy.
I don't think it's a thing anymore.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Most of that row of podcasters that were there in 2015 were the only ones that are still around.
Are we really? Mm-hmm. Even that one, even the ones that you were not a fan of, huh?
They might still exist. I'll let you know this weekend.
Oh.
Right
let me know. I'm curious now. I want to know if they survived. If they decide to stick around for X number of years.
Yeah, I'm interested. Actually, I have to write that down and make sure to remember to look. But again, everybody, that's it for the show. If you're done listening, you can just hit stop. But this weekend, FanExpo Denver. If you are in town, if you're listening live and in town, because the recorded people aren't going to get this until after the show, has already done its thing. But if you're going to be in Denver and you're going to be at the show, if you're going to be there on Sunday, come watch me make a fool out of myself. It'll be rad. Sketch duels.
It will be rad.
Never done one, never seen one. Don't know how. I have no knowledge. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna do my research to figure out who the people are at least, and just do like I do with everything else, and fake the funk. That's how we've gotten this far. It's worked so far. I'm gonna keep doing it. Where can people find you, Francis, faking the funk, doing what you do?
You can see us fake the funk tomorrow on Super Geeked Up, where we celebrate Indiana Jones in preparation for the 6th and final movie, Dial of Destiny. So we're going to have a guest on, Amalia Lewis from Art of the Roll. She'll be there to celebrate with us. All Indiana Jones, all the time. It's going to be a great episode. Go check it out, supergeekedup.com.
Listeners, mate, not a sketch doodle, a sketch duel. Go ahead, Francis.
That's all. At AKA the other guy.
Yes, at AKA the other guy. For all things Francis, for all things Josh, you can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. You can call, voicemail, text, call into the show. Listeners, mate, I forgot to include it this week. I'm excited to talk about FanExpo stuff, so we'll get you next week. It'll be there. You could do all those things, and we'll have you on the show. 314-764-7631. Email at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. Everything is POI Podcast, so just look that up. Otherwise, look for pictures this weekend. Maybe some videos.
Exciting.
Maybe a chit chat here or there. Maybe I don't know what kind of access I'm going to get, but lots of pictures, lots of stories, anecdotes, maybe even a limerick next week about FanExpo. Otherwise, Francis, as always, thank you for doing this thing, sticking up for me, sticking around with me through all the thick and thin. That's it. I need to come up with an ending for this show. Fucking 10 years, I don't have an ending to a show. I'm just going to hit stop, and we're going to go away. Because the song's ending. Hey, look at that. There's a great way to go. We're out of here. See you next week. Bye.